If you can think of it, Liber Daemonica probably has it.
Spiky Bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com, and we are taking a look at more Space Marine upgrade bits from Liber Daemonica. They had a whole new wave of stuff come out in early summer. They finally got it over to us. And not only that, but we're going to show you some painted pictures of the first round of stuff we already showed you. We're kind of getting to the tail end of the new stuff, and then we're not going to show you every variation of all these things, of course. But I think it's important to showcase some of the different offerings out there from all the different companies when it comes to upgrading and making your miniatures your own, which I think is kind of the hallmark for this hobby in general, and definitely something a lot of folks like to crack out on. So over at LiberDaemonica.com, just click on the shop tab. Remember, they're a full commission studio. They do all sorts of things over there. So if you need some help with your hobby or somebody to help you get caught up with your even some of the most mundane tasks, you'd be surprised the stuff that they do over there. And not only that, but they got bits. So how cool is Liber Daemonica for sure. So this, you can see the depressed category button right here that apparently, oh, now you can see it. The guard miniatures, Liber Daemonica guard miniatures. So they have like whole kits right here that you can see, and also a la carte torso kits, legs, weapons, and things like that. Not a whole lot over here, but I mean, really you only need so much. And especially with the plastics out there from Games Workshop, you can kind of combine them together and do a whole bunch of different things. They sent us a set of the legs, which I think is what they only what they had at the time, and I was like, oh cool, we can combine those with the Acadian stuff. So we did that, and I want to show you those here in a second, but we're going through the site right now, just kind of giving you an overview. Another great and very popular section of the site, I would imagine, because every time I see their bits, I'm like, these are dope. If I was running Blade Guard, I would use these for my Blade Guard, is all these shield sets, and they have a ton of them at this point. It's crazy how many they have. It looks like they've come out with more since I've been on the site. So like some more traditional kind of designs and things, and some more traditional fantasy lines as well. So $14 and you get 5 bits, and some of these are pretty chunky. Like we showed you the bull ones last time here, and I feel like for $14 that's pretty reasonable, to be quite honest. Now again, some of this stuff's super crisp. It's boutique, artisanally cast, great looking miniature resin bits that are on par with Forge World quality, if not better than Forge World, depending on who you ask, I suppose. But I mean, I kind of feel like for the money, these might be a little cheap personally, but it's up to you obviously to get them. We have some of them together here, and I'm going to show you exactly how big they are and how they look on a Blade Guard. And then last but certainly not least, or maybe first, I don't know, it just kind of depends on what I grab here in the next few minutes, are some new armor, dread armor upgrades. And we showed you some of these already. They have a ton more, so depending on what you're specifically looking for, they might have a kit for you. We'll show you some painted examples too, probably next up. But again, for 17 bucks for the upgrade set, I feel like it's pretty reasonable, to be quite honest. So a lot of their a la carte, super reasonable, and you can get super custom. But remember, the more kits you buy to equip your things, it's gonna start adding up. But once you kind of start at the top and buy whole kits, it might not be as reasonably priced as if you just went with traditional plastic. But that's kind of what makes this hobby so dope and allows you to customize and get the look you want. Here's a quick painted example, of course, by Liber Daemonica. These are commissions for some of their clients as well. You can kind of see what some of the shield and Thunderhammer's bits will look like. I think we showed you those last time, but what they'll look like painted up on Tartarus pattern Terminators. Now, they're pretty much the same size as Primaris, so these will look good on Primaris models as well. And then, of course, when it comes to dread upgrades, this is probably only going to work with one of the kits out there, although I imagine you could augment it to kind of go with something else. But you can see how fresh these upgrade bits look when applied to those plastic kits. They look pretty stunning. I love the look of all of these. Let's see if we can get a different chapter too. This looks to be more of a white scars motif, but the way they did the white with more of a blue gray instead of like a true white, which, you know, is a technique, of course. It kind of looks a little Space Wolfy, like from, you know, just looking at the thumbnails. I thought this was Space Wolves, but no, it's probably white scars. So and you know, definitely looks pretty fresh with all the ornamentation and everything. Very Baroque, very very cool looking. And here's a couple of different views of it here, just to give you an idea of how much detail is actually on these things. And some more shield examples with what you can do with those large $14 shield packs. And of course, Thunderhammers are a separate bit. I want to say they're $8 for 5, which I feel like is also pretty reasonable. But yeah, you can get super crazy with all the bits they sell and just really crack out and do lots of cool things with them, like these salamanders here. And here's some of the actual bits to give you an idea before we show you some of the miniatures. Here's some of the guard legs that are super nicely cast and very crisp. Now remember that trick I keep showing to everybody all the time. Sometimes people hit me up and they're like, hey, what's that trick with the blue tack again? So if you're trimming off these little tabs, which can be in some pretty precarious little spots, just put a little bit of blue tack on here and then you can clip it off, and it won't thrash the actual part when it springs off. The blue tack will absorb the force and you'll be good to go. So that always when I see these bits here, I always get reminded of that. And then here's a closer look at one of the shields for a sanguine kind of legion, I suppose. And it's got the little mount there for the left hand. The models, I always say the model, if I was the model, that would be my left hand. I think that's the easiest way to do it. And then this is one of the sets of shields that we have too. I don't know what these ones are specifically for, which is kind of cool because there's a couple different sets that will kind of work for anything. Loyalist, maybe even Renegade as well, depending on what look you're going for. And then of course they have the Redemptor upgrade sets too, which this one is you know, for maybe some Xenos hunters, which is definitely the vote for my favorite here. And they've got all of that little scroll work and text work on the inside. You can see it's super crisp, and all the mounts, and I'll show you here in a second on a Redemptor as well that these work pretty well. And it's got the I guess you could use, no, you couldn't use this as a Legion of the Damned, I don't suppose, because of all the scroll work in there. And then this goes around the fist. You can see where the fingers are. That's what I always think of. And then there's some of the armor plates, and this little guy right here, which I'm not exactly sure where he goes. You might actually be able to use him inside of the sarcophagus and do some like crazy OSL LED kind of lighting. I don't think he's actually part of the outside, but I couldn't find any pictures of it, so I might be wrong. So somebody tell me if I'm wrong. And another version that I thought was worth showing you is this liney version that's kind of unforgiven. And I'm not going to have time to put it on the actual armor or the plastic kit, but I definitely wanted to show you these bits because I imagine there's a lot of folks out there that might be interested in them. And then boom goes the dynamite. Look at that slab of resin. Holy cow, that is pretty fresh. And like I said, it's got the left hand right there, and it's all very seamless and easy. Remember, these are push fit, depending on which ones you use. You could get the push fit ones. These are the push fit ones, so they work with the push fit. You just have to clip off at the end right there, and then I imagine it'll work with the separate bit as well for the multi-part blade guard. Or of course you could probably use them with Firstborn as well, and they would make great boarding shields for Heresy too, just depending on what you want to do. And there's that salamander bit with the cool flaming maw as well, but it's not necessarily limited to salamanders. It could be drakes or kraken or all sorts of different things. And then here's some of those legs on the plastic Cadians, which I feel like is a little bit better of an upgrade look than potentially what GW came out with recently. So if you're looking for kind of that great coat Death Core of Krieg feel, maybe without the gas mask, then this might be a more affordable alternative for you. And they've got, you know, some really cool poses for all the miniatures. Once you get them on there, they're definitely very dynamic and got a lot going on. There's a lot of room on the sides here for all the pack and accessories and things too, so you can kind of go wild and add all that stuff, and you're not gonna run out of room or anything like that. And then we've showed you some of these Redemptor armor upgrade kits in the past, and then here's one that would make a great runic armor, perhaps for a Space Vikings or Wolfie type Legion, I suppose, depending on what you're going for right there. But all the parts go on pretty seamless. You can see I've got them attached with blue tack because I only have one plastic dreadnought to try everything on. He has been trying on and off armor plates all year. He loves trying on new bits, so let me tell you, this little guy is a trooper. But yeah, very stunning kit right here, or upgrade to really transform the whole kit. Let me zoom out a little bit just to give you a better look at how dynamic this guy becomes once you add on all that armor. And then, you know, you can add a few things at the bottom too, but I like having the flat panels, especially with a Space Wolf kind of look, to do all that cool like chapter pack insignia, little slashes and hex checks and dash sort of things right there as well. So it kind of breaks up all the detail work too. And then once you get it painted, you won't really even notice that there's a bunch of resin on top, of course. But either way, I think it looks great. And what was these, like 16, 17 bucks? I feel like that's a good value. So if you're looking for some upgrades for a slew of different chapters, you know, check out LiberDaemonica.com. They've obviously got a lot going on over there, from commission painting to all sorts of different things. You can keep up with them on their Facebook. Of course, LiberDaemonica.com will get you in here to the shop as well. So hopefully next video, I can show you some of their newer offerings for a lot of other upgrades and also kits that they've been coming out with. In the meantime, 2021 has definitely been a busy year for them, and we love showcasing all these new great looking bits, and definitely talking about one of the companies that's been around in the hobby for a very long time as well. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our videos.